to see a Kadita that would just burst out anyone. It still has to be well placed. The rough wave still has to hit several or maybe several waves in one target. But if that doesn't happen, Kadita won't be really that much of a deal to begin with. So for Onic PH, they have to be wary of their position. And for Work Osterforce, they need to make sure that when they do try to put down that damage, it's on point.
And we'll see who will get the first point here as we hear the Go Onic coming up from Unravel. But yeah, I feel like Onic PH needs to really capitalize on the advantage that they have with Natalia to really get control of the early game here. And that is where it all matters. As long as Hate will be able to just go ham in the early game, they'll have no problems whatsoever.
Yeah, and so far we are seeing that both teams are playing quite differently on how they played last week, honestly. Now Work Osterforce will be invading the jungle of Onic, and Onic seemed to be a little bit unbothered by it though. Unravel still dealing or receiving a lot of damage, but I'm quite sure that it won't be lethal for Work Osterforce.
Yeah, it was a very aggressive fight push there in the top lane jungle for Onic PH, and as I say that, bottom lane will get visited by Jay on that Natalia. Kusei will have a bad time just farming this up. But yeah, it's a completely different Work Osterforce here compared to how we saw them in the early weeks. The early weeks that they were playing, they were a bit passive. They were just letting the game go, letting the game happen as it happens. And now they're trying to regain the tempo here.
Yeah, and for 3 Martisi, actually trades against Dilar, and I feel like Dilar will have to play this quite aggressively. Might be a 2v1 though.
Might be a 2v1, but 3 Martisi will make it out alive. Dilar is down to half HP. Hate will be there to assist in keeping his teammate alive.
Man, this is exactly why I didn't like the Natalia pick to begin with. It pressures Onic PH.
Yeah, the pressure on the Unravel to back off is real. Dilar is already a quarter HP out of the game, but he's still alive. RTZ tries to push forward to get a little bit more damage onto Dilar, but it's not enough, and that will be a disengage. Chu will start off the turtle.
Yeah, turtle will be started by Work Osterforce here. Onic does have the capacity to just engage here. It might be a fight for the turtle, but a first blood actually goes to Onic PH, but a turtle goes to Work Osterforce instead. So I think that trade was still won by Work Osterforce, considering that the average gold is still bigger if you get the turtle.
Yeah, it's a 1-for-1 trade. Getting objectives is a lot better than just securing kills, at least in the early part. It was just a 1-for-1 trade for that matter. Now, we're going to have to talk about the transition going to the mid-game this time around. Alice, Iyaku, as soon as he gets 20, 25 stacks up, he will become a threat in this game.
Definitely. The Alice post level 4 is one of the biggest threats in this game, though. A 2v1 in the bot lane.
And Kusei manages to make it out alive. Good timing on that flicker. Not expending it. He knows that Alice already threw the orb, but meanwhile over the top lane, Dilar will get taken out.
That was pretty massive coming in from Work Osterforce. Taking down the Lar in the top lane is a very good way to establish pressure around that turtle area, giving 3 Martisi a little bit of an edge, but this is the threat that we have in Iyaku right now.
Iyaku tries to be a little bit cheeky there with the lane cut, but it's not happening at all as 3 members from Work Osterforce just deals with Iyaku there to just alleviate the pressure that he's trying to apply in the bottom lane.
A little bit too aggressive coming in from Iyaku, cutting down the wave quite early without prior information coming in from Work Osterforce, gets punished by 3 people. And speaking of information, this is the information that they need. That Mountain Shocker actually will give the safety that Iyaku needs if ever he wants to just cut lanes. But then again, the cooldowns weren't exactly in sync during that time, and they got punished in that bottom lane.
Meanwhile, there was a big presence of Onic PH on the top lane just to try to bring 3 Martisi home, but it's not going to happen. And now they will just default back into their own jungles.
Yeah, and I feel like the map pressure around the top side only is because of this turtle, but Var though in the backside.
Yeah, we'll try to get a kill off of Unravel, just try to delay the turtle push, but Chu manages to take down Dilar. Unravel takes down Jay. It's a fight for the turtle, and it has been secured by Work Oster Force, and it's not looking good for Onic PH. Already 3 members going down, make that 4 as Chu secures a double kill. Off of that, the birthday boy starting to become relatively unkillable here, 2-0 and 3 so far.
Yep, that was a solid play coming in from Work Oster Force, immediately rotating for that turtle. Getting the turtle, then getting the kills as well. This is what I told you about when I said that 3 Martisi is the X factor for Work Oster Force. He was the one who initiated that play to begin with, got Chu a lot of kills, but you know, rather than me just explaining things, let's look at it again. Turtle is started by Work Oster Force, and look at this. The entry coming in from 3 Martisi just gives that Rhapsody the final touch, the final note that it needs to just secure those kills. And it was already said and done the moment that wave the dragon lands. And 3 Martisi, I have to give it to him, even if the double kill went to Chu. And that makes it even better.
And that instant replay is brought to you by Oppo A94. Experience gaming at full speed with Oppo A94. Get yours now for only 13,999 pesos, as that is a good wave the dragon on the back lines by 3 Martisi to secure, helps Chu secure the kill off of Jay and Iaknu over the top lane.
Onic PH, they seem shell-shocked right now. They drafted the Natalia thinking that they could get that early game advantage, but I feel like the pressure just didn't go well for them. Jay did try to get a few kills, but always had those assassination attempts unsuccessful. And that means Work Oster Force had the opportunity to just scale up, have 3 Martisi set up the kills, have 3 Martisi set up things for Chu. And Chu right now 4-0 and 3. And we do know from the past few weeks of MPL that a Granger that gets ahead early will just pop off immediately by mid-game.
Yeah, and he's looking real good here, especially considering the fact that they are starting off the turtle. If they manage to secure this, Unravel will be able to... Chu, I mean, will be able to just secure a little bit more objectives here for themselves to even out the map pressure. As I say that, 3 Martisi made Jay and Iaknu pay the price there. Unsuccessful on that gang, and Unravel will be looking to assist over the top lane, but that is a disengage by the Onic.
This is so sad by Onic PH. They went in to trade 3 Martisi for the turtle. They sacrificed that turtle play, gave it for free for Work Oster Force, invested 3 people in the top side only for 3 Martisi to escape that 3v1. They didn't get their worth in that rotation. They didn't get any gold. Yes, they got a few minions, but that was it. And for now, looks like bottom lane is the next target for Onic PH.
And that's not going to happen yet because the mid lane is a primary target here. Jay will be taken out first, gets the knockup onto Iaknu, secures the double kill for Chu. Arteezy, low on HP, will be forced to back off, and they are still fighting. Unravel already, I mean Chu already becoming a problem here. He'll be spamming the recall here to secure a triple kill of his own. 7-0 and 3. This birthday boy is feeling himself right now, Yomi.
Yeah, birthday boy with birthday swagger going in, still deathless in this game, taking down the mid lane turret, and Chu's now level 13. This is massive coming in from Work Oster Force. Their early game just worked wonders for them. And for Onic PH, even if they drafted the Natalia, it didn't actually work out for them. And this is a key example on how negative pressure having on that early game, especially on this Natalia pick, just ruined the early or the mid or late game potential of that Alice.
In the earlier game, Onic already had the map advantage here throughout the entire game, securing the first 2 tier 1 inhibitor tier 1 turrets on the mid lane and the bottom lane. And this time around, the tables have been turned. Work Oster Force is just securing objective after objective, just making Onyx's world really small at this point. And they secure a second tier 2 inhibitor, a tier 2 turret there for themselves.
And most likely this turtle will be free as well for Work Oster Force. The map control coming in from Work Oster Force in this game is quite massive. As you can see in our minimap right now, 90%, or let's just say 85% of the map is already covered in blue. And Work Oster Force will be rotating towards that Lord area. Might be even a free Lord if Onic PH doesn't shove the waves quickly, as in right now.
And that Is going to be a huge ask for Onic PH. No lane priorities for themselves. It's only the mid lane that's really pushing forward. And 3 Martizi is doing a good job just focusing on just keeping the top lane at bay so that Onic PH will not have any space to push whatsoever. Speaking of space, a lot of space has been created to secure this Lord for themselves.
Yeah, and as I said, another free objective for Work Osterforce and Onic PH. They just don't know what to do right now. Mainly because Onic PH already sacrificed their early or their mid game for a possible good early game that they did not get. Now they have a Natalia that's 1-4-1, could not assassinate anybody from Work Osterforce, and an Alice that's severely behind. This isn't what you want entering mid game if you're Onic PH, and it's quite obvious in the gold score as well. Work Osterforce is 11,000 gold ahead of Onic PH, and that's a big signal that Onic PH, they really don't stand a chance going towards mid game, and the only hope for them to win this game is for Work Osterforce to commit a huge error by mid lane as the Lord pushes.
And this is not looking good because Jay is just doing what he can to just delay the push from coming over the top lane, but the mid lane is already there. The back has the call to just go back and regroup with as a team. It has already been called. This will have to be big for Onic PH, but that initial engagement by 3 Martizi would be more than enough to secure an opening for every single member of Work Osterforce here to go ham and secure 3 kills, and this is looking like it's already game for Work Osterforce as they secured their first series here against Onic PH.
I have to agree with you. This